Hello everyone, and welcome to my presentation for Robotics 211. This is a little bit of a special thing. It's an extra credit type of thing. So, temper sensor and humidity sensor. So what I had to do is I had to hook up a temperature sensor and have it display on an LCD screen. And I was successful with that. I did this in Arduino. I could not get it to work with AVR. I'm going to keep trying with it, but I wanted to get something in, and the Arduino actually makes it easy. So I kind of went with that. I use two libraries with this. I'm going to get right into it. The first library is the liquid crystal library. The second library is the simple DHT library. That's the sensors to DHT-11. Here's the problem with the AVR stuff. There isn't really a library that is going to work with AVR and an LCD right now that I know of using 16 megahertz. Okay, this chip is running at 16 megahertz and not 8 because it's on the Arduino board, which makes it very difficult to find something that is going to be compatible unless I rip the chip out of the board and put it on a breadboard, stuff like that. But I was running out of time. So, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to do here is show you guys that I know how to do it in AVR. It's just the lack of material right now for that. So the next best thing would be to do it in Arduino, and that's what I did. Okay, anyway, liquid crystal, simple DHT. Wonderful libraries, okay? Wonderful libraries. We declare some variables here, global, integer, pin, DHT11. I put that on pin 2. We declare 2 bytes, one for temperature, one for humidity. I have an integer called air, and it equals the simple DHT air success routine, basically. You'll see that in a second. So we define our sensor. Simple DHT11 is our sensor. Pin DHT11 is pin 2. Okay. So now we initialize the library for the LCD to make it work. Constant integer, RS, EN, D4, D5, D6, D7. All of these things are pins on the LCD screen, and I initiate them here. I assign them to pins. So RS and EN is 0 and 1. That's your transmit and receive, basically. And then D4, 5, 6, and 7 is your data pins, and that's how that works. Then we decide to initiate the liquid crystal LCD by initializing those pins. Okay, so setup. Oh, 1 second here. I was actually using the serial bus in the beginning just to test out the sensor, and I don't need that anymore. Okay. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. And I'll show you what I did there. So the reason why we didn't need that anymore is because I have it running in the loop now. That was all test stuff. Sorry guys, I'm pressed for time, so I am trying to get through this as fast as possible. First thing we do in the loop, we say if air equals DHT read, address of temperature, address of humidity equals null, and not simple DTS air success, then we're going to print out a failure message. This was all for, to be honest with you, this was all for the serial bus, for the serial monitor. I just didn't take it out. Okay, so sue me. I'm going to leave it in there because I want to experiment with it later, but technically we don't need this right now. This is what we need right here. So we're sampling at 1 hertz. The DHT is sampling. So basically, I turn the display on. I set the cursor to 0, 0. We print out the words temperature and Celsius. I decided to go with Celsius, guys. Fahrenheit is very, very relevant in the United States of America, but let's face it, it's not really all of that when it comes to other countries, and I've been to many of them. So, okay, Then we set the cursor to 14 spaces over, which is going to give us enough room to print out our temperature byte, basically. And we set the cursor to back to 0, and then the second line we type in humidity. We set the cursor to 9, and on the second line, and we print the humidity byte. We delay for 500 milliseconds, and we loop through it all over again. So every half a second or so, we're getting an update from the sensor. And that's pretty much it. That's how it works. The next part is going to show you a video of it working in action. So without further ado, here it is. Hey guys. Okay, so I have the temperature sensor hooked up, and it is running on the LCD screen here. I apologize for that going in and out there a little bit. It's very temperamental. I have a heat gun. Let's see if you can see it here or not. Right here. And I'm going to apply heat to the sensor and see if we can get it to heat up. Ready? Alright. We got the humidity heating up. There you go. Now you can see it's heating up. Pretty cool. So it works. I don't want to put any more heat on it. I don't want to melt any of my stuff. So anyway, there you go. Temperature sensor working.